The landscapes of our lives are for learning, where experience is our teacher. When we gather together to share our resources, we are destined to love and thrive. Good morning, Pierre.
Oh, good morning, Maureen. How you doing? Eating breakfast, I see.
Way above average.
Ooh, I like that. Garrison Keeler. Yeah, where everybody's above average. Kids are above average. What's been going on in your world?
Nothing. I just came back from, well, not nothing, but
Well,
I
thank you,
I
not
just
nothing. Well, thank you, not nothing.
I just arrived to podcast after teaching Bikram yoga class this morning, 6:30 a.m. on the East Coast. And before I got dressed this morning, like I leave like 15 minutes before the class. I arrived like the very last minute. And I noticed I used this Theragun thing, and so I turned it on, and I was just
Oh
kind
yeah.
of trying to get some circulation into my legs and stuff. My piriformis has been bothering me, so whatever.
What's a piriformis? What's a
It's a
piriformis?
butt muscle. I have a pain in the ass. So
Oh, that's why we're going around the word. Yeah, I get it now. You've got a pain in the ass. Okay, go ahead.
literally. So anyways, I'm using the Theragun, and I noticed like all this stuff coming up off of my pants, my yoga pants. And then so I shut the gun off, and I'm like, what is that on my pants? They were black, and it's just like a dust or a film on them or something. So then I
Yeah.
like brushed it off, and then I noticed like it wouldn't stop coming off. And I was like, oh my God, these are the pants that I wore to the Tough Mudder last weekend, and I washed them and dried them and everything, but like the dust was still in them. So I like go outside and like slap my legs and get all the dust out of them. It's
Oh
fun.
my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So a couple of things, but first, what's a tough mudder?
Oh, it's kind of one of those like adventure races. It's actually I think it's a fundraiser for military veterans. And
Okay.
it's like one of those, there's Spartan races and there's all kinds of other ones, but it's like that, but it's not as competitive. So it's like an obstacle course. It's an obstacle course for like
Uh-huh.
grown-ups. Yeah.
And can you tell me about some of these obstacles? It sounds like some of them have water and dirt.
Yes. Well, tough
Yeah.
mutter. So they're
Yeah.
not easy. The one I did, they're all over the country. I don't know if they're international, but they're all over America. And sometimes the course is flat, like in the middle of Kansas or something. But sometimes they're on mountains, and ours was in Vermont, Stratton Mountain in Vermont, which you would love. It had a nice little village, and we
Yeah.
rented a Verbo place, ski in, ski out condo thing. And so it was a lot of fun. There's like a wedding going on up there, a lot of restaurants and stuff. But anyways, the Tough Mudder course is basically, run straight uphill, run straight uphill, but like you can, so you walk and you hike. And I did it. I was asked to do it with a bunch of friends from the gym.
Yeah.
So 40 and 50 something, a bunch of us, 8 of us went up, and just had a lot of fun. We were a team,
Hey,
and
that's
yeah,
great.
the obstacles,
How
yes,
many,
involve
how
water
many,
and mud.
how many obstacles are there? How long give us some like
Yeah.
411 on this? Yeah.
Okay. So there's a 15K race, and one of the girls from the gym is actually like quote unquote an adventure racer. She's into it. So she was on a separate team doing the 15K, which I don't
Okay.
know, maybe 20, 25 obstacles. I don't know. Then there's a 10K race,
Right.
probably assumedly fewer obstacles. And then we did the 5K.
Okay.
So 3.1 miles, basically most of it uphill, obviously some of it downhill. And things like rope climbing, a 40-foot net where like we look like ants, a whole bunch of people climbing up on the net, and they get
Yeah, 40 feet high. Yeah,
down.
40 feet high.
Yeah, it's pretty high, pretty high. And that was the last obstacle. And a lot of people had trouble with that. And actually, the guy that that kind of revved us up at the beginning, the person who was running it or whatever, he was saying, help each other up there, be a good team member or whatever.
Right.
And also like people come to do this to overcome some fears. It's not so much to race and win, but it's like, holy shit, I don't want to be underwater on my back with a fence over my face and try to swim through that. Like, or 40-foot rope climb. And so you
Wait
help
a
each
second.
other up and
You're in water and you said underwater and there's a fence. You can't actually, what happens there?
okay, one of the obstacles, which I thought I was kind of dreading and thought, okay, this is going to be hard for me, was basically they dig out a pit in the side of the mountain and on the mountain, and they fill it with freezing cold water, like 34-degree water. And they
Okay.
have like a water tank there and everything, and they fill it. And there's like, picture a chain link fence over the pit. So there's
Okay.
water in this big mud pit, and then there's a chain link fence that covers it, most of it. You jump in where the fence isn't, obviously, and it's cold. And you're like, ooh, adrenaline, holy shit.
Right. Right.
And then you have to submerge yourself and go under the fence, about 2 feet of water. And the water goes right up to the fence, like pretty much. So like you're kind of trying to keep your head between the fence and the water. And then you have to basically go on your back and pull yourself on the chain link fence to the other side. And that is maybe 25 feet, 30 feet. It was not short. But you can see the sky, but it's a little claustrophobic. There's water that gets in your face, and that was a little hairy for a lot of people.
That would be super hairy for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy that one of the guys on the team, we go from one obstacle and then you run to the next one. And so he jumps in the water. He just goes up and like, oh, wow, isn't he brave? He just like jumped in, and then he went right under and submerged him. So I'm like, man, he's attacking that. Like, and I was all amped up, like, okay, I'm just going to follow him in. And when he came up, his face, I had jumped in next to him, but he came up and I said, are you going? Like, are you going to go under the thing now? And he's like, I need a minute. Like he was shocked. He was like, I need a minute. And then I was like, well, I can't wait. Like, you inspired me to jump in. So I just went under and I did it. And I was so proud of myself when I got to the other side. I was like, I got out. I was like, oh my God, I did it. But obviously drenched and muddy water or whatever.
And that's probably at the beginning. So now you're cold and your clothes are chafing and you have to finally, however many obstacles you go over, you have to climb a 40-foot deal.
Yeah. Uncomfortable, but fun. We had to carry each other on our backs. Like, one girl jumped on my back. I carried her. She carried me, carrying sandbags uphill, 50-pound sandbags. Climbing up a rope that's on like a flat surface, and there's people at the top, and like they'll grab you and pull you over, but you got to get up, and if you fall in water. Yeah, it was. And then going across wobbly wires and water underneath, and if you fall, climbing under like what's not a chain link fence, but what's the like a barbed wire. You had to do an army crawl.
Oh, yeah.
Wire fence. Oh, and the best part, and this is what I'll leave you all with.
Okay.
Did I send you pictures?
Well, maybe at the end.
Yeah, at the end. Okay, so after the 40-foot rope climb, the last obstacle at the finish line was like an electrical, like you get electrocuted, like a shock thing. I know, it's ridiculous. Like, what are we doing here? So I'm thinking to myself, okay, I signed a waiver. Like, yeah, some of this stuff is challenging and a little dangerous, but like, you know what you're signing up for. But I was like, well, how bad can it be? Like all the other things I got through, like, but I was curious about what does it feel like to be shocked? So it's a pool of water, like a foot, again, another dugout pit of like water.
Right.
And all these cords hanging down, some of which are like electrical of some sort. I'm not an electrician. I don't know. And then there's other ones just dangling that aren't anything. They're just like rope or something or twine.
All right.
So it's all these things, and you don't know, you can't really tell which is which until you get effing zapped.
Zapped.
And then you remember what, they're a little thicker than the other ones. So again, my friend who jumped in front of me and needed a minute, again, bombed in. He just was like, all right, I'm doing this. And he, without hesitation, he ran through. I see him get like zap. And I was just like, screw it. I gotta go. Like, I'm not gonna change my mind. So I went, I got zapped once. And Pierre, like, when I tell you a full body experience all at once of like, I
You're in water. Yeah.
like a thud in my heel, but like through my entire body. And then I was like dodging I was like, I am not going to experience that again. Once was enough. So that was kind of funny. And I got out and I was smiling by the end of it. I was like, oh my God, it's so absurd. I think I was like, it's just funny. So we had a good time.
Oh my
But
gosh.
then, you
You
drink.
should see, I wish our listening audience could see my face with every description of an obstacle. I'm just gobsmacked by the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh my
I would
goodness.
love to do
That
it.
is way more out there than I thought. I thought it was
Yeah.
okay. I thought it was like uphill, mud, slime, climb, but that's some crazy stuff.
Yeah, no, it was a good time. And I guess the other obstacle courses that have like ice things and all, yeah, it's interesting. We adults, we need to play, we're still kids at heart. And it was really like a very camaraderie kind of thing. Like you were talking to other people and helping people and,
Yeah.
you do it. And yeah, it was good. I like that.
Well, I think that's a great note to end on, what you can do what people can do when they get together. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just incredible. I have fears around, being confined in closed spaces. It's not claustrophobia like, oh, I'm in a dark room or something like that. No, it's like I'm underwater. There's a chain link fence. I only have like a straw's width to breathe. Yeah, that sort of thing. Because I went through the fire service and, as a volunteer fireman, and they blindfold you and they make you climb underneath the fire truck, which doesn't sound like that's going to be hard, but you have all this equipment on and they've got shit like there to make it more difficult. And and then there's dark boxes, labyrinth boxes that they put you in. And you crawl into a labyrinth box that's completely closed. It's got a little hole on the other side. And inside of it are like rope things that you get tangled in. And once you're in there, it's like, it doesn't have like a Jack in the Box pop lid, like it's panic zone in there.
Yeah. No, I think most people probably are frightened by stuff like that, but it is really exposure therapy, isn't it? Like little by little, if you expose yourself to it and you're okay. It's that like alert and calmness thing,
It
takes training, doesn't it? It takes like serious training.
Totally. You've got that right. And, you were on a race. So I think that's a little bit difficult. We were in a situation where, they were teaching us, right? And you're thinking, well, I'll do this and I'll be able to do something for somebody someday or just be available. And I remember when you go into the practice burning building, this is when I was back in Connecticut. Our instructor was a New York City fireman. One of the things in the fire service is, you've got your gear and you've got your helmet, and your helmet ends up being like a badge, like a badge of courage. So, like if you've been through fires and that helmet has been through fires, you might be wearing that helmet. This New York fireman's helmet was. Oh my God. Here we are, little, not preps, probies or something like that, because you're on probation. And we're in this burning, you've seen them as you drive by the highway. It's a concrete building, like 3 or 4 stories high, no windows, and it's just sitting there. And Yeah, they light that sucker up and you're at the top and they've closed those windows with wood. That's the thing you don't know. And it's dark, it's smoky, it's freaking hot. And this guy's standing up. And like I'm on the floor, like, this is not looking good for me. But down there, it's way cooler than it is standing up. He goes, this is okay. You guys are gonna be okay. You just hang in there. Just hang in there.
Yeah.
It's,
But
it is-
that's the whole thing, is like somebody saying you're okay. I mean, I find myself saying that in yoga all the time. I said it today. I said, it's not that this is hard, it's uncomfortable. There's a big difference. Like, you're doing it. It's not hard. It's just uncomfortable, and you're okay. You're just uncomfortable. That's
I
all that's
love
happening,
that.
right? You're
I
okay.
love that.
Yeah.
That is great, great
Yeah.
yoga.
One of the girls I went to, who was on the team or whatever, from the gym, she had climbed, we do rope climbs, and she had climbed a 13-foot rope and fell from the top recently in the last few months. And she really could have died. I mean, she could have broken her neck. Thank God she was okay. But the rope obstacles, the one where you had that looked a lot like a rope that you would climb to the ceiling. She overcame some other things and she was doing well, but she was like, I don't think I can do this one. And I was like, yeah, of course, me, the teacher, I was like, that's your autonomic nervous system. It's telling you, like, it recognizes that as a really big threat. And like, it's trying to keep you safe, but just keep telling yourself, like, you're okay. That was then, this is now, you're safe, you're here. Like, but I said, maybe just looking at it is enough today, and then the next time you come, maybe you touch it. So, she, and then by the time we got down the bottom and she had to do the rope climb, the 40-foot climb, which was netting, it was still rope, but it was netting.
Yep.
And she said that was hard too, but she did it, she's like, I just did one foot in front of the other, which I said, that's a big deal to overcoming your fear, and teaching your system it's okay and you're going to get beyond that, you know what I mean? And she's like, yeah, I totally have like PTSD from it. I'm like, yeah, actually you do. So people were there really
For others, yeah.
and and the guy said, I felt like I was at work. He was kind of a rah-rah, and he was like, you don't know what people are going through. You don't know who they are. Like, everybody has something, like, just be kind. And like, really, but that social, like the guy being with you, standing up, telling you you're okay. Like, we need people around us. It's way better to overcome fears and do things with people. 100%.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Well, thank you, Maureen, for sharing Tough Mudder this morning. And I'm Pierre from Yoga Heals.
And Maureen from Landscapes for Learning. Learn to live and live to learn.
All right. Peace through grace, my friends. Peace through grace.